Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Greetings and salutations, true believers. Welcome to Lights, Camera, Rant. As my wonderful voice-over guy says, where we talk about the latest in movies, TV shows, and video games. So how are we all feeling today? Are we all feeling pumped? Are we all ready for Hawkeye Episode 4? Are we ready for Spider-Man No Way Home? Are we ready for the Spider-Verse, which the trailer just dropped as I'm recording this? Are we pumped? If you're a Spider-Man fan right now, it is a wonderful time to be a Spider-Man fan because you're getting this left, right, and center. So guys, for anyone new, we always talk about the news first, then we get into my review. For anyone who's come back every single week, I thank you. I bow my head, and you know what to get in for, so go sit on the couch and listen up. So, in the past week, big news, actually. If you have gone, please go check out For Those About to Save the World, Episode 3. It is a musical episode that I do make here and there compared to the first one, where we take a look at the hit songs from movies, TV shows, and video games, and we break them down. So this latest episode, we've got obviously off the back of Venom, we looked at the first track from the first Venom movie with Eminem. And then obviously we looked at the second track for Venom 2. And then we got a little bit extra from Transformers, obviously with Linkin Park. And then we turn the clocks back even further and we go back to Highway to the Danger Zone and The Power of Love. So definitely go check that out. So I've got 3 of those episodes. So definitely go check out the first one, 2, and 3. And let me know what you guys think. Like, do you guys want to see another one? Are you enjoying these musical episodes? Like, share, comment, tell me anything in between. Or if any songs you didn't like that come up in a movie, you're like, this is shit. Personally, let us know on my personal side. Let us know in the entire hemisphere, if you will. So in the past week, we've found out the fact that Batgirl, the HBO movie, has started shooting. So that's now HBO Max, that's now shooting, so that's now in production. Look, to be honest with you, the most exciting thing I am pumped for that is not Batgirl. My most exciting thing for that movie is the fact, A, J.K. Simmons is coming back as Commissioner Gordon. That got announced. And the fact that Brendan Fraser is going to be a villain in it. Those, funny enough, those are the 2 most exciting things for me for that movie. And not Batgirl. I'm like, cool. Anyway, over here, let's look at this. Let's look into that. But yes, that's going to production. So that's going to be really good when that comes out. See how the resurgence of Brendan Fraser seems to be going on right now. Also in other news, yes, I have to report on this particular one, is that as we draw closer to the end of 2021, there is a baby that just got born in the UK that is called Thanos. Yep. I did not question that. I did not know that's real. There is a baby in the UK, and his name is Thanos. Look, each to their own. Like, there is some kids that are named after fruit, apple, orange, pear. Like, there's nothing wrong with telling a child that you are named after a malicious titan that wanted to half everything because the fact that the galaxy was in balance. Sorry, the universe was in balance. So I guess, with that little kid, what you got to do is half everything. You got to make sure the fact you can only half this, or, I know if there's like six packets of chips, 3 to you, or 2 to you, and the rest get thrown out. Like, he's he's going to have a very, or her, either way, are going to have a very interesting life growing up. The fact that's what you're named after. Because, he's a mad titan. He's purple. He's somewhat of a god. So that's going to be an interesting conversation they're going to have when she grows up. And if they do show her Infinity War, or him, if they do show Infinity War, it's exactly the same thing that I'm going to do with my kids, is that we're going to watch Infinity War, and they're like, oh, we have to watch, can we watch Endgame? No. We're going to wait 12 months. You must suffer like how I suffered, and had to wait 12 long months to see the ending. Question mark. I'm 100% going to do that to my kids when we watch Infinity War. Like, you have to wait 12 months. I don't care. You must feel the same pain as I did. But yes, there was a kid called Thanos, which is the same ripple effect with Elsa and Anna. Same thing, same dealio. Also in other news is the fact that The Rock is now in Fortnite with one of the latest trailers. Right now, everything is currently in Fortnite. It is a juggernaut. You got The Rock now, you got Master Chief, you got Mando, you've got John Wick, you've got the Avengers. Like, it's just anyone and everything is currently nearly in Fortnite because it's just a massive juggernaut of a game. And it's funny the fact that something like this that is pulling all these major stars, is making all this money, yet Apple got all finicky about because of the fact they didn't get their cut. Why, you're still going to make your money, Apple, to a degree. Like, why does one particular thing, one particular brand or company annoy you so much that you move from the Apple Store? So anyone who doesn't know that there was a complication between Apple, a lawsuit, and Fortnite, because of the fact that Fortnite were doing, you could buy obviously upgrades, everything through their store, and you didn't have to go through the Apple Store, and they were, obviously they were cheaper compared, and Apple didn't like that. I'm like, nope, we're taking your app off our stores, which I'm pretty sure Fortnite were like, sweet, we're still going to make a shit ton of money without you. So long. That's, and each their own, but I feel like Apple did lose there. But yes, The Rock is now in Fortnite. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and it's going to be very interesting to see where his character goes in this. And in other news that did come out, obviously as I mentioned earlier, was we got the first trailer for the Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse 2. So the first Spider-Verse came out in 2018, 14th of December, internationally. Box office of 90 million. Budget of 90 million and made a box office of $375 million. So I think you could say that a profit. So obviously the first Spider-Verse was called Into the Spider-Verse. This one is called Across the Spider-Verse. Now, before I get into the trailer, a little bit, it wasn't a long trailer, so it was more of a teaser than anything, is that I definitely, if you are a comic book fan, if you like Spider-Man, I 100% recommend go watch this movie. The textures that they use, the drawings, how it's all animated is fantastic. It looks 100% ripped straight out of a comic, like no joke. Like you could, for frame by frame by frame, print that, put that into a comic, and you think it's a comic. Like it's what they've done with it is really cool and really special. And when I went to go see this, I thought this was great. It was something different, and you could tell the fact that a lot of love and detail has gone into this. And it was one of the movies I went to go see and thought this is awesome, because I was a little bit iffy at the start. I was like, okay, let's Sony's trying to make more Spider-Man money. But no, it was a great movie, and I'm definitely pumped for the sequel. So we found out the fact that this is actually going to be part 1 of part 2. So this is due for release. Now, the sequel was meant to come out a little bit earlier. Obviously, that's a big gap between 2018. However, because of COVID, like as we see with movies, TV shows, and video games, everything's getting a little bit delayed here and there. So this got delayed as well. So this is due for release on the 7th of October 2022, with part 2 scheduled to come out in 2023. I'm guessing October, November that following year. And really all the synopsis is the fact that there's a big threat. Miles Morales has to help out across the multiverse to help stop this big threat. That's pretty much all the premise right now. And the trailer didn't really give us anything more at all. But yeah, so they're splitting that into part 1, part 2. They're also developing a spin-off movie with Spider-Woman. Obviously with Spider-Gwen and female Spider-Woman. They're going to be in it as well. No release date on that particular one yet. All we know is the fact it's in development, and that's it. But yeah, so we got the trailer. Miles Morales is just kicking back, listening to music, and then Spider-Gwen comes through a portal, and he's a little bit confused why she's there, because as far as we know about the first Spider-Man movie, spoilers alert! Spoilers! Spoilers is the fact that yes, they were able to fix the multiverse, and the fact she went back to her own universe. Yet she pops through. He's a little bit confused, and then obviously a little chit chat, and then they look like they're about to go into an adventure. And the interesting thing is the fact that obviously this is Spider-Gwen is voiced by Haley Steinfeld. Steinfield. I've probably butchered that. Which we're going to be talking about later, because she's also in Hawkeye, which we're going to find out as Kate Bishop. But yes, so she's obviously reprising a role, as well as pretty much Earth 1, if you will. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he's going to be in it. No, Tobey Maguire. Majority of the cast is coming back. They haven't done the full cast release, but the main characters from the first one are coming back. Don't know about the rest of the team. However, they're reported to come back, as well as Oscar Isaac is going to be returning, because he had a small after-credits scene at the first Spider-Man as Spider-Man 2099, which basically is just the same version of Batman Beyond. It's Spider-Man of the future. Batman of the future, basically. Which he's going to be returning, which you do see in this trailer, because it looks like Miles Morales is falling into time warp, if you will, multiverse portal, something. He's falling into it, and Spider-Man 2099, they're going a little bit back and forth, a little bit of tassel. So he's definitely returning. Obviously, Oscar Isaac has this. He's also going to be Moon Knight. So it's funny enough, a couple of these characters, a couple of these characters we're seeing in the Marvel TV shows, like the dad in Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. He is the man of color, if you will, in the Internals. I forgot his name, but he was a tech-savvy one with the family. He's in that, as well as Doc Ock, or female Doc Ock. They don't have the male Doc Ock, is voiced by Agatha Harkness, same lady. Funny enough. And funny enough, again, because I'm talking about this, obviously Kingpin is in that, which I've got something very particular to talk about Hawkeye, about Kingpin. But yeah, so a couple of these characters, or these main characters, are actually going to be or are in Marvel movies or Marvel TV shows already. So they're loving the gig, and they did fantastic with their characters in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But the trailer has the same feel, same animation, same concept as the first one, and it looks fantastic. I 100% pumped for this. I can't wait. To me, obviously, I wasn't expecting a trailer for this for much down the track. But I'm guessing Sony was like, look, we've got Spider-Man No Way Home coming out right now, so we might as well piggyback off the Spider-Man hype train right now. So that's probably why they've released it. But it does say Spider-Verse 2 across the Spider-Verse, part 1. To part 1 and part 2. So I'm guessing it's going to be really annoying, because the only reason it annoys me about part 1 and part 2 movies is the fact that, like, you finish watching the movie, like, yeah, it's fantastic. Shit. I've got to wait 12 months. Fantastic, you know. Like, it was like with Harry Potter. You watch the Deathly Hallows part 1, and holy shit. And, you still have to wait for part 2, and you're like, so much happens in part 2. Like, that's the biggest one out of all of them, but you had to wait 12 months. And then, obviously, with Infinity War and Endgame, which was a lot more, I've carried a lot more weight, because, it was a boss move from Marvel being like, here's your favorite characters. Boom. They're all half dead. They lose. Now wait until they find out. Wait. It was so annoying. Anyone who can relate to this, please, please comment if you share my pain, the fact you had to wait 12 months. But, look, pumped for it, definitely. So I've shared it on my Facebook. Obviously share it on Instagram as well. So definitely go check out that trailer and let me know what you think, because, I'm all pumped for this. I'd love to know, did you like it, or was the animation a bit off-putting? Like, did that put you off, or, not much of an animation person, you just like to stick to the live action? Oh, sorry. A little bit thirsty. Anyway, so let's get into the main thing for this particular episode, Hawkeye. Now, unfortunately, Gwyneth Paltrow did mention Gwyneth Paltrow did actually mention in an interview that she doesn't know who Hawkeye is, or doesn't know what the show is. It's also the same lady that forgot the fact that, yes, 100%, she forgot she was in Spider-Man Homecoming. She was arguing with Jon Favreau about it. And he's like, oh, you cameo in Spider-Man. She's like, I wasn't in that. He's like, yes, you were. And she's like, no, I wasn't. Like, yes, you were. You were at the end. She's like, oh, yeah. Obviously, she doesn't keep track of it. That's fine. But we, as the fans, we know who Hawkeye is. And look, episode 3 definitely brought it with the action. Definitely brought it with the storytelling. I don't actually have a lot with this episode that I was, like, disappointed in. I think the most thing I was a little bit disappointed was at the ending, because I was like, oh, I have to wait for a week for episode 4. There wasn't anything that was really disappointing in this episode. The action was on point. The storytelling was on point. You felt the heart, and you felt the relationship between Kate Bishop and Hawkeye grew. Like, I think this is like one of the episodes where it grew the most, heart-to-heart moment. But this episode starts off within the warehouse, and we get introduced to Echo. So a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about how the fact that Disney Plus have announced their new shows coming out, and I did see the fact that they mentioned the fact that Echo, the Hawkeye spin-off show, is getting its own Disney Plus. And at the time, I was thinking to myself, okay, I guess, like, not least excited for that. But now I am 100% pumped for that, because the backstory of Echo was good and it was sad at the same time. Like, you felt for it, which is one of the biggest things I feel like in the MCU that they do really, really well, is that you feel for these characters. Villains, in between, heroes, like, you feel for them, especially with this Disney Plus show. It just seems to carry a lot more weight because you get to spend more time with them. Like, turn the clocks back to Feb, and when you're watching WandaVision, episode 8 or 9, when you find out how she made the town, how Wanda made the town, you just felt for her, honestly. Like, and it makes you realize the fact that she's one of the most broken characters after Endgame. After everything that she's been through, she's one of the most powerful, which we're going to see in Doctor Strange 2, which apparently the trailer for that is actually apparently good to go. I don't know when they're going to release that. I'm guessing not until January probably January. Obviously, stay with No Way Home first. But you felt for 100%. I think that was my review for it. I was like, now after watching WandaVision, I want to see more Wanda Maximoff. I want to see more Scarlet Witch. Obviously, and just cranked up my excitement for Doctor Strange up to 110%. Which basically, as I'm saying, is Marvel know how to make you feel for these characters a lot more. Obviously, there's some hit and misses, which is going to happen all the time. But other characters they do really well, like Loki. The Loki TV show just felt for him even more, especially that particular Loki who hasn't done all the growth in Thor 3. And watching Echo, I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all. So her name is Aqua Cox. I've probably butchered her name, which I'm really sorry. Alaqua. Aklua. Nope. Probably not. So this is actually her first major role in the film. And she, I didn't know this because I had to look it up because I was very curious. So she actually is deaf. She's actually deaf. As well, she does have a prosthetic leg as well. Which fun, because in the episode you see the fact that someone tries to kick her leg and it's a prosthetic leg, and I thought, wow, that's really good CGI. That's really good. That's really good CGI right there. And then I realized, oh, no, that's actually her real prosthetic leg. I feel terrible, but it's really good seeing like a person of this particular nature, obviously who is deaf and obviously prosthetic leg, get one of these major roles, and she killed it in this episode. You felt her, and you felt her rage too. Because you see that she's talking to her dad, and then you see her, adapting with the fact that she's deaf, how she deals with the situation, and the fact that how she got so good, and unfortunately, going to a scene in which she's a little bit late, and the Ronin kills her father and everything, which is really sad. I felt for her because obviously the sign language is telling her to go away, go be free, and you felt for her. I don't know anyone else, but I can honestly say I did. But she, and as well as in her fighting style as well, when she's fighting with Hawkeye, she just, really well, you feel the aggression to her, and she just. Honestly, the highlight for this episode was Echo, more so than Hawkeye or Kate Bishop. And what's really wholesome is the fact that both Haley and Jeremy learned basic sign language, ASL, when she was on the set to talk to her, which is the wholesome content you want to hear in this crazy, crazy world. That's what you want to hear. And I think that's fantastic, and I clap my hands. That's a really nice thing. So this is actually the second time that Marvel has employed a deaf person. Same with the Internals, and because of Internals, ACL obviously how to learn sign language has increased 200% to find out how to do it, and it's just something like that tells you the fact that you did the right thing in casting this person. You did the right thing, taking a situation like that and adding this character and the feedback, what it comes out. But yeah, Echo does fantastic, and you feel for it, your aggression, everything on this, great. And at the beginning of the episode, obviously, Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, they get free, they tussle in the warehouse, which has some really cool fight scenes. And then as they're going on, as they get free, unfortunately Hawkeye's earpiece gets crushed on because Echo's like, basically, you shouldn't rely on that. You can do better, or you'll be stronger without it. And then they get out of the warehouse, they steal a car, and there's a chase scene. A chase scene at the very start of the episode, Really cool camera angles, actually. As the chase scene's going on, there's actually a camera in the back of the seat, or has to be, and in the back seat, and it goes full 360 around. Like, it looks like it was like one shot. Obviously, you can slowly tell it wasn't. But it's a full 360 shot, so you see how, they get onto the road, how the fact they, try and work out the arrows, how, the bad guys catch up to them, everything. It's a really cool shot. It was actually a good highlight. And as they're going through all the special arrows. You get the plunger, or you get the Christmas tree magnet, or Christmas tree grappling hook. I think if you use it, it would bring all the bad guys together like stuck. But for this thing, they use Christmas trees. And obviously they use a purple glue, or purple like liquid flubber, if you will, purple flubber to take out one of the cars. So they use that. But the real cool thing in this entire episode is the fact that they get right to the end, and Hawkeye's like, I've got one more arrow to use. He's actually got two more arrows. And one of the arrows is one that says Pym. Obviously, Pym particles, factory of Pym, Ant-Man on it. He shoots it up, straight up, and hits Kate Bishop's arrow, and thwoom, giant arrow comes down and hits the bad guys. It is an awesome scene. And that's cool. That's cool. And a really good callback to Civil War. Because obviously, Ant-Man got on to Hawkeye's arrow and straight into Iron Man. But honestly, it's a really cool scene. You think, of course, with all these gadgets, you got to have something like that. Which, could mean the fact that Hank Pym is now helping the Avengers, or helping the leftover Avengers, because of the fact that everything's kind of disarray at the moment. Which you got to remember, the fact there is no Avengers at the moment. After Endgame, there is no Avengers. There's only individual heroes. Obviously, which thanks to Hawkeye, we also find out that the Avengers compound is still disassembled. It's still in ruin, or they haven't rebuilt it. So that's the thing I got to keep remembering is that when you're watching this, is that there is no Avengers at the moment. There is no Stark Tower. There is no Avengers Tower. There is no... this is the symbol of hope. Right now, we're living in a world where there's individual heroes, but there's no team. So everyone's got their particular part of the city, or they've got some particular part of the country, or part of the world. That's the thing. So maybe Hank Pym is helping them out. As we know, the fact he wasn't very helping them at the start, helping them shield. But that was really cool. But there was another really cool scene, the fact that Kate Bishop grabs another arrow, goes to go shoot it, and she's like, what am I meant to do with this USB arrow? Which does nothing, because when she shoots it, just flings off one of the bad guys. But I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a really cool callback, because that USB arrow is from referencing What If Ultron 1, when they used the USB arrow to download the bad guy from Captain America 2, Zoloff, to download Zoloff, as well as a callback to the first Avengers when he uses the USB arrow to take out the shield carrier. I thought that was really cool. And she's just like, what can you use this? I'm like, a lot of things. But that was a really cool moment. And as it goes on, they have this little chit chat, heart to heart. She tries and tells, Kate Bishop says, it's your branding, you need a new costume. And he's like, basically, look, my whole idea is to be a ghost. Not to mention, if I wear a costume, my wife is going to divorce me. Now, we do know from the promotional material the fact that he does wear a sort of a Hawkeye costume, because we can see the purple more, which we do see, which I think pretty sure is the promo art for when you open Disney Plus. There's the promo art of it. So they have that little moment, and obviously the dog gets called Pizza Dog, that name, and then they go to Kate Bishop's home, because she owns Bishop Security. They try and go through all that to look up anything like finer details. Hawkeye walks away because he hears some noise, and as he's walking, he sees the Ronin blade that comes to his throat that Jack's holding. And cutscene, applause. Yes, you're welcome, you're welcome. Essentially, that's the episode in a nutshell. However, my big question is the fact that's why I'm so pumped for episode 4, because Jack, meaning Hawkeye, like I want to know. So obviously we know that Jack is playing the swordsman, clearly, because we remember his name. So my curious thing is the fact is, does Jack know Hawkeye from anything previously? Because I don't think we really know. I don't think we really have a Hawkeye origin story at the top of my head of how that all, how he all came to be. We know he joined Shield, but we don't know, how he became Hawkeye, how he learned all his abilities and everything. So that'd be really cool if they know each other. But that's how that particular one ended. But let me just draw back a little bit. So, what I wanted to draw back a little bit to Echo is in her flashback scene. There's a scene where she's about to do karate, and her dad says, "Good luck, listen, watch." And then this man, which is cut off, you can't see him, and squeezes the kid's face and laughs. And he's called Uncle. And honestly, the whole room are going around the fact that is Kingpin. That's big Kingpin, and Vincent D'Onofrio is going to reprise his role from the Marvel Netflix shows. So that's the major crossover, which for this is entitled this episode, because the fact that we haven't had so far any major crossover between the Marvel Netflix shows to the MCU timeline. Obviously, Shields is Agents of Shields is like a bit like no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. However, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, Daredevil, Punisher, definitely 100% recommend. If you want something brutal, hard action, definitely go watch the first season 1 of Punisher, and go watch season 2 of Daredevil. There's a scene in that where the Punisher is in jail, and it's just so much anger, so much rage, and it's a great scene, and you instantly go, that is the Punisher. But sorry, drawing back. Yeah, so we haven't had any major crossover between these two shows. So if Vincent D'Onofrio is actually the Kingpin, that would be fantastic, because he killed in that role and he did a great job. He did a fantastic job. Not to mention, I actually saw on someone's TikTok who was that detailed, that particular, who actually went to Daredevil, listened to Vincent's laugh as the Kingpin, and then compared that laugh to the laugh that you hear in Hawkeye, and it nearly sounds identical. So, it was on TikTok, and I'm like, my God, they're right. It's got to be. So, which has just turned my excitement up this a little bit more. We knew there was a rumor that Kingpin was going to be in it, but we didn't know if it was just going to be a throwaway name or it's going to be a reference. However, yes, it looks like, some shape or form Kingpin is going to be in it, which means the fact that we've got 3 episodes left. 3 episodes, 3 weeks of Hawkeye before Christmas, and we still haven't seen Ivana, obviously Black Widow's sister. We know that she's meant to come into it. Which episode it remains in question. I know she definitely has to be in episode 6, but I kind of want her to be in episode 5 because I want to see more of her. She was one of the biggest highlights for Black Widow, and I really hope that she at least comes into episode 5. But no, she's going to be in it, and with a Kingpin as well. So there is going to be a lot in the next 3 episodes. Obviously, there's going to be Jack. We have to find out the death, and eventually, Hawkeye's going to get his official suit. and kind of passed the mantle on to Kate Bishop for the Young Avengers, which we were rumored is meant to be happening because the fact that they had a Hawkeye press conference or the talk show to promote it, and someone did ask Kate Bishop, Haley, if she was going to be in the Young Avengers, and she did the silly thing of turning her chair around and looking at Kevin Feige, and he's got the best reaction. His eyes are like wide open, like shut up. You don't. If you want a career in the MCU, you say nothing. You don't be like Tom Holland or Mark Ruffalo, who just like willy-nilly, or Mark Ruffalo, who Instagram lived the first 30 minutes of Thor 3. No joke, he did that. No joke. And if you do go back and type into YouTube, Benedict Cumberbatch and I can't remember his name, he plays Rhodes. It's just so funny. Both of them just shaking his head every time he spoils something, or like, shut up. Both to him and Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo, they're both just as bad as each other. Like, just keep a lid on it, would you? But yeah, so there was a lot to be. Honestly, as I said to you guys last week, I wasn't excited for the Hawkeye TV show. However, everything that's happened so far, it's increased my excitement. 100%. At this stage, though, at episode 3, I remain Loki, WandaVision, Captain Falcon. What If, Captain Falcon, and Hawkeye. So I'm still putting up above. How Hawkeye might go above Captain Falcon. Every time I think of Captain Falcon, all I think of is a tense fight scene between the Winter Soldier, between Falcon, obviously, and US agent, obviously, Captain America. That was that warehouse scene, that fight scene is fantastic. Left, right, and center. And obviously the broken arm. But that's at this stage, that's where my list is staying right now. I'm most looking forward to the next 3 weeks. And look, guys, honestly, like, it is the best time to be a fan. Right now we've got Hawkeye coming out, episode 4 coming out on Wednesday, and then on Wednesday, the 11th, and then 2 weeks later, 17th. Sorry, I didn't get my dates. Yeah, we've got that, and then we've got Spider-Man: No Way Home. I wish I could listen to my episode of my review of it right now and hear my excitement, because I thought I'd love to hear it. However, 2 more weeks. And obviously, hope to also bring out you guys a Christmas episode. Matt, my partner Maddie, she'll be joining me for that. We're going to do a Christmas special. Obviously breaking down the top recommendations for Christmas of movies you must watch. Nightmare Before Christmas, always up there. And obviously keep all you guys up to date, and pumping these out right before the new year. But yeah, guys, Hawkeye episode 3, fantastic. A lot of more in depth, a lot of more character building, and I didn't have a lot to be negative about it. Nothing really. I was like, that really disappointed me. No, it was all good on that front. And yeah, guys, so definitely tune in for next week with more Hawkeye, obviously, and then in 2 weeks, Spider-Man: No Way Home. If you haven't got your tickets, go get your tickets right now, because of the fact I've seen websites crash. Tickets are flying out so fast. Honestly, I think this will crack that $1 billion mark in the post-COVID era. But look, guys, thank you for joining with me for today, and until next time.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.